Chapter 3. A man in the hand is worth two in the bush. Accusatory examination of the new slave's head revealed an unbroken scalp, but like most head wounds, it bled profusely. Ziba found some nearby softflax and fashioned a bandage of sorts. Without the time to beat the flax softer, it did a poor job of absorbing blood. The wound still leaked down the man's neck and shoulders. Sulan looked him over with her usual critical eye. "A white skin, older than our other one," she observed. "Nice cock on him, and one ball is hanging lower than the other. Mosh says that means it's heavier with baby seed." "Does she?" Ziba asked, reaching up to adjust the bandage again. "Yup, he doesn't have much muscle though. Hope he has enough strength to keep up with Chief Jabbo," Solon said, turning the man around to examine his behind. "Stop moving him, I'm trying to make this tighter," Ziba said. "Nice ass too." Solon ignored the complaint, giving the man's butt a squeeze. "I can understand what you're saying, you know," he spoke with perfect diction, shocking both women. "Whoa! Listen to him!" Solon exclaimed. "The man speaks like a woman." "And I have a name." "Yes, you do," Ziba agreed. "Man-slave Jabbo. Named as all our other slaves, after their owners." "No, I have a name. It's David." "Like fuck it is!" Ziba cuffed him around the head, ruining her latest bandage adjustments. "Ow!" Davin winched. "But shut up. Imagine men having their own names. You cut that out before we get you home, or you get more than a slap from the chief." "Don't be mean to him," Solon said. "He seems different to the others. I wonder how he can speak so well." "My last owner was a rich old woman," Darev explained. "She owned several of us. My job was to keep her company at nights, so she taught me how to speak, and read, and even write. A little." He shrunk back from Ziba's raised hands. She was ready to slap him again if he said anything untoward. "I bet the sisterhood would have loved her," Ziba said. "I doubt very much our chief needs such services. She needs your seed, that's all. It's a new tenure, and she still doesn't have a daughter to lead us when she steps down. And then you'll go to our two breeders, seed them with babies to keep the tribe going. And then it's both balls off, whichever way they're hanging." Sulan finished her examination of the manslave's anatomy and glanced up at the darkening tree canopy. "We better get going, Ziba. I have no trouble in the jungle at night, but I think you will struggle, and so will Clever Cock here. It's a long way back to the tribe land." The new threesome made their way as fast as they could, reversing the morning's journey. They paused twice to check David's wound. After a while, it stopped bleeding, and the blood on his face, neck, and shoulders dried to a flaky, dark red coating. All three were tired, hungry, and thirsty, the women having had no time to refill the water skin in the river, but David's endurance impressed them both. "I reckon if he can handle this walk, he can give Chief Jabbo a good long fucking," Solon said as they neared home. "Well, it isn't the length that's important," Ziba panted. "In either cock or duration, it's the result." "I am right here, you know," David grumbled. "Halt!" A menacing shout came from the shadowy trees to their right. "Mosh, it's us!" Solon replied. "I forgot you had guard duty tonight." She ran to hug her friend, a lean, muscular woman her age. Mosh was paler than Solon, the palest in the tribe. Still no white skin, but she could have been born of a white-skinned son breeder. Nobody knew. She had moved from tribe to tribe before settling with tribe Jabbo. Mosh put down her longbow and hugged back. Ziba rolled her eyes. "It's only been a day. You're like lovers, mother's sake." "Well, we are lovers," Mosh said with pride and squeezed Solon's buttocks until she yelped. "And what have you got here? A cedar, I hope?" "The chief has been pacing all day, making everyone very nervous. I was glad to be out here on guard duty." "Oh, Mosh, we've had a proper adventure, almost chopped in half by some crazy sisterhood bitches. And we lost the slave, then found a replacement, and he can speak like a woman, and I backdaxed him on the head. And, okay, Mosh laughed. "Let me get back. It's dark. We need to get this one caged and fed by the looks of him." "The name's Darev," he said, and flinched as Ziba cuffed him again. "Ow! It is fucking not!" Ziba shouted. The three of them walked into the tribe land. Mosh and Solon led the way, holding hands when the trees thinned enough to allow them to walk side by side. When they made their way to the village, most women were asleep in their huts, huddled next to their slaves for warmth. Here, out from under the jungle, the near full moon cast a pale light over the huts, smoldering fire pits, animal pens, and wood piles. Further up the gentle slope, the bare rock of the high cave reflected the moonlight. The chief's fire still burnt. She must have ordered it kept alight. She was waiting for her shopping party to return. "I better get back to guard duty," Mosh said. She planted a firm kiss on Sulan's mouth and jogged away. Sulan, Ziba, and Darev crept past the huts, careful not to walk through any hot embers and approach the high cave. Chief Jabu sat on her usual log beside the fire, poking it with a long stick. Her chief's cloak hung in the cave entrance. She sat in nothing but a loincloth. The fire's orange flames danced across the dark, shiny skin of Jabu's pendulous breasts. She rose to her feet as the party approached, her bare belly now providing a more expansive light show from the fire and moon. She threw the stick into the flames and put her hands on her hips. "Took you long enough! I was about to send the rest of the hunters after you. You've brought me something worth all that worry, I hope." They had agreed that Ziba debriefed the chief. She could better gloss over such details as letting their first slave free. "The sisterhood raided the slave market," she reported. "They had metal swords. Everyone ran. Solon and I were lucky to escape, and with this new cedar for you." She felt that was a fair summary of the day's adventures. Chief Jabu grunted. "The sisterhood, eh? So those crazies have made it this far. We better be on our guard. They'll no doubt pester the lower valley tribes first, but they'll make it up here one day." She grabbed Darev and dragged him closer to the fire. He suffered through his third examination of the day. "Looks alright. Better than the last," Jabu observed, lifting his penis for a closer look at his testicles. "Okay, you've done well. Cage him up and get some sleep." And with that she turned, grabbed her cloak, and disappeared into her cave. The three walked back down the slope to the man cage. "Why didn't you tell her Darev could speak so well?" Solon asked. "For mother's sake, his name is Slave Jabu. Don't be giving him ideas. And how well he speaks is not important. He's got one job, sowing his seed. Last time I looked, they don't do that with their mouths." Ziba gave Darev a push towards the cage. "I'm worn out. Can you get him some food and water without me, Solon? I don't think he can overpower you and escape." "Are you kidding?" Solon tapped the hand axe on her hip tether. "I'll give him another taste of my little friend here if he tries anything. You go sleep, Ziba." After that running today, I should call you Hunter Ziba." "Ha!" Ziba smiled. "I told you, don't judge a woman by her wrinkles." She walked off to her hut and a warm manslave to curl around. Solon opened the cage door. Darev got the message and shuffled in, keen to avoid any more cuffs around the head. "I'll go get you something to eat," she said, and left. Inside her hut, she found her own slave, manslave Solon, asleep on their animal skin bed. He'd prepared her a dinner of roasted goat meat and taro and covered the clay pot to keep the bugs out. She decided not to wake him. She spooned half the pot's contents into a bowl and grabbed the full water skin that sat beside it. Her slave was an excellent one, and she knew the water would be fresh. Darev huddled with his arms around his legs, shivering. It was forbidden to light fires near any man cages, lest they catch alight and the slaves escape. On her return, Solon realized the night had grown cold. She considered for a moment and then stripped out of her rabbit skin. She passed them and the food and water through a gap in the cage. Darev rose and took the offerings, unable to take his eyes off the naked Solon through the bars. His gaze followed her proud, pert breasts over a tight, muscular midriff. Further down, skinny hips framed a shaven pubic mound and pouting vulva. "What do you think of the cutest cunt in the village?" Solon teased and moved closer to the cage bars. She ran her hand over the mound and her fingers down between her legs. "I get my slave to shave mine," she said, in a matter-of-fact voice. "But Mosh doesn't. She keeps her cunt hair. She said it makes her feel more like a wolf." "Ha, that's fine for her, but I always come away from her bed with hair in my teeth." Darev didn't know what to say to that, but he overcame the spell that Solon's nudity had cast. He laid the food and water at his feet, then sat down and wrapped the rabbit skin around him. "Thank you. You've been kinder than most," he said. "Well, they say I'm soft," she replied. She stopped touching herself and stepped back from the cage. "Just put your seed into our chief as often as you can and hope that it takes root. Then I don't have to take you back to the market." Solon left Darev to his dinner of cold goat's meat and water. He couldn't decide if he was lucky or not.